What's going on, y'all? Conscious One coming at you. So I just got a message for one of my subscribers. Call herself Chatty Patty. Chatty Patty, I know who you are. I hope you're doing well. And all I gotta say is uh, appreciate hearing from you. Um, Please forgive me for whatever wrongs that I have done. It's just a point of. This is a time where a lot of people are really upset about things. A lot of things, y'all. Whether it's because things not going your way, et cetera, or not going the way you want them to go. And sometimes we could take it out on people that we actually care about. Isn't that interesting how you could take things out on people you care about more than you could take things out on the people who's actually persecuting you? But this is just a time I just don't want to deal with hardly. It's hard to talk to people these days because a lot of people don't know the insights on what I'm dealing with, so forth and so on. Even though it seems like I'm doing great, I'm looking at the world and the world's doing terrible. So how great could I actually be when my people are looking the way they looking? I mean, I went to a store today. Black people, they just look so sick. Everybody just overweight and just looks sick. They looking at me like I'm strange, man. They looking at me like I'm Jesus Christ superstar in the black community because they all looking a certain way. But anyway, Chatty Patty asked me, could I make a video about the Illinois Safety Act? It's very interesting, Patty, that you asked me to talk about this because I was actually just about to make a video about it, believe it or not. So definitely, we on that wavelength. But I'm gonna let this sister tell the story. And she tells the story, y'all, at about 9 minutes into this video. But I'm gonna start it from this video. If y'all want to look at the video yourself, you can. But I'm gonna play the meat of the video. I'm gonna play the meat of the video. This is gonna be about a 15-minute video right here, y'all. So prepare because this black woman, she actually gets it. She actually gets it. You know, she's talking about that black women don't realize that they've lost. Black women, just before I start the video, y'all, you know, God said in the Bible that it was his people that was going to suffer first. The punishment was going to come on his people first before he dealt with the other races. And I'm definitely seeing that now. You know, even Elijah Muhammad said the black man cannot go as far as his woman. When other nations look at upon other nations, they don't actually look at the man. Even though the man is like the foundation of his household, the head of his household, it's the woman that represents the community, the stability of a nation. Other nations look at that nation's woman. So when you look at the black woman of today, if you was in another nation, imagine if you was another nation, right? Let's say I was Greek, and I'm looking at the news, and I'm looking at these Negroes over here in Chicago and New York, and maybe I even took a trip to Chicago one time and passed by a black community, and I looked at the women. I didn't look at the men. I looked at the women. I looked at the women that are giving birth to these men. So I'm looking at the women. And let me tell y'all, if I was of another race and I was looking at what black women are doing in these cities, I would probably think, yeah, these people should be destroyed. Like these people should be put to death. They don't get it. They don't even love themselves. How can they love anybody else? That's what I would say if I was in another race looking at black people. That's what I would say. I would say these people are pathetic. Um, they can't do nothing right. This is what I would be saying if I was in another nation. If I was like a Greek guy, these people can't do nothing right. And I mean, there'll be a side to me that would say, well, they're just victims and it's not their fault. Which, I mean, that can be, that could be said too. That it's not our fault. The white man did this to us, and every time we did try to start something, I mean, look at Oklahoma. Look what they did in Black Wall Street. We can never do nothing right. My thing is, if black people lived in righteousness, they could do something right. Then they would step in. Look, God would step in and make sure that a nation. See, all these stories you hear about slaves and Black Wall Street, they love to tell you the story about how black people got conquered and destroyed. A lot of things they don't tell you about, though, is how the Bible, God used other nations to punish his people simply because they were rebellious and unrighteous. And so this lady is breaking down the unrighteousness of black women. Um, Me personally, I don't like the term black women because there's black women all over the world. There are black women who act nothing like black women in America. Most of the black women are in Brazil. Yeah, go look it up. When you talk about black women and you talk about the black women here in the United States, that is only talking about 2 or 3% of the world population is these black women here in America. So I just want to put that in perspective. This is not a rant about black women, black women all over the world, but this is a rant about the black women inside the hills of North America. And this is one of the few women that gets it. And that's why she is banking and making a lot of money. I watched this woman make almost $300-400 today doing a super chat. Whether it was real or not, I don't know. But y'all listen to her and decide what she's saying is real. And like I said, uh, about, well, now it's about, once I start the video, if you fast forward it to about 9 minutes, that's when she starts to talk about the Illinois Act. But I'm going to let her start from what she's talking about and just kind of build up to the Illinois Act. Because as far as I know, yeah, the Illinois Act is a purge type of situation. And black people, everybody's in trouble, not just black people. Everybody's going to be in trouble. Purge ain't just about black people. It's about everybody in this country. You know, they passing these laws. They letting you go. The Pharaoh is letting you go. Now what you going to do? What is the black woman going to do once they realize Pharaoh let them go? Are they going to beg Pharaoh to take them back? Or are they going to start obeying the commandments of God and allow a good man that they claim they want to have control over the household and be the head of the house? We'll see. Let's play this and see what she say, y'all.
Ending of mobility. He just gave you tools to try to stand on your man neck with. That's what he did. But he didn't teach you mobility. He didn't teach you what it takes to understand all 10 moving parts of mobility. And then their subcategories as well. He just gave you bits and pieces to make you think that you were really independent and doing something. That you were really doing something notable. That you were being empowered against your men who they said didn't understand mobility, but understand it very well. Black men understand mobility. This is how they know they being held back by a system. This is why they know that. It's not just a feeling in their gut. They understand how they're being held back because men understand mobility in general better than women do in general. They know how they're being held back. Black men understand this very much. Why do you think that if I'm here able to talk to you all about value systems, about biology, culture, and environment, about 4 Ps, about system, order, and structure? I'm not that smart. It's not my system. This is from a black man who understands intimately what's happening to not only him, but all his people, and why it's happening, and then what to do about it. This is what we've been talking about whole time. Whole time. Thank you again, Miss Ravens. And my thing is, are those black women not scared yet? Out here having completely isolated yourself in a land that doesn't like or care about your very life. They not scared yet. They not gonna be scared. They not gonna get scared until Zaddy start ripping the protection off. See, whatever problems that you got coming, when you start losing political power, when they start rescinding all of them things that they gave for women's rights and all that leverage you got as a quote-unquote double minority, so they gonna get ready to take all of that. These people want their power back the way they used to have. I told you they want the old thing back. because they feel themselves losing power, not just because of black people, but because of other people that they consider minorities that come in and actually understand how to deal with this system. Now they feel threatened by that. So this is where you get in groups like the Patriot Front. And this is where you're getting things like what happened January 6th. This is why they stormed the Capitol. If a bunch of black people had stormed the Capitol, do you understand that we would be talking about the massacre that happened on January 6th? We would, if a bunch of black men had stormed the Capitol that way, do you understand what kind of massacre we would be talking about? We wouldn't be talking about what charges to bring on this one and that one and who did what and who did that. It would have been open fire. Shoot to delete. We deleting all of them. Cause I know you lying. I know they didn't come up here thought they had enough gumption to hit the Capitol like they own something. Just close your eyes and shoot. It don't even matter who you get. Thank you again, Joker. These are not isolated incidents. These are not things that are not connected to one another. They connected in ways that many of us have yet to discover. They're not coming down real hard on them because they understand why the Capitol was stormed. They actually empathize with it. It just made the government look bad. That's all. Thank you, 39 then. It just made it look bad. You know, they gotta do that now in front of everybody now. Thank you, John the Baptist again. Said men of value understand how to move ourselves and our families forward and never leave a wife or child behind. Men of value. Thank you. Black men understand mobility. It's black women that don't understand mobility. I'm number one in line. I have a very limited working knowledge of mobility. This is why you don't hear me on nowhere talking about how I don't need no man. Okay? Thank you, Think on this too. So the world needs to know how black women bankrupted black men for decades. Can't wait for Crimson Q to blow your minds in case you didn't know. Protection. How many people know anything about the Illinois Safety Act and how they're going to change it come January 1st of 2023? Folks is already calling it the purge. They're already calling it the purge. That's why I opened up talking about the purge. For those of you who don't know, thank you to L Factor. For those of you who don't know, the Illinois Safety Act, in essence, in a nutshell, is Illinois removing its cash bail system, which means that you can be charged, you can be arrested, you can be put in jail, but you won't be required to remain in jail until hearings and court dates because there will be no bail. So you won't be in a position where I can't get out because I can't post bail. And they're doing it under the guise of, well, we don't want innocent people to have to sit in jail because they can't afford bail. things like robbery, aggravated assault, attempted murder, DUIs. Thank you, Mahir. Said on my A game at 61, I recovered from C19 pneumonia. I'm now pushing 855 pounds on the leg press. Hey, masculine energy, mobility, survivability, agility. As a combat engineer is how I keep forces alive. Hey, what I am so happy for you, Mahir. Thank you so much for that. Thank you so much for that. Thank you for that testimonial. I really appreciate it. That made me happy to read that. It really did. Some of the things that will become non-detainable offenses under the Safety Act, which will go into effect January 1st of 2023. It means that the criminals will be allowed to be charged with and released for crimes without bail, second-degree murder, drug-induced homicide, arson, aggravated battery, kidnapping, burglary, robbery, intimidation, aggravated DUI, aggravated fleeing and eluding, drug offenses, threatening a public official. So what that does is that creates an environment, Black women, where you won't be able to utilize the environment, i.e. the institution, to check nobody. So when you just want to call the popos on your baby daddy just because you mad at him, and then you be like, yeah, he beat me, blah, 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 he might get arrested, but they ain't gonna set no bail. You better hope your baby daddy real mild-mannered. And let's be clear, I'm not on here saying Black men are gonna become some type of savages. No, it's not the Black men that you're gonna have to worry about. They lifted it so that you are better able to be targeted and taken advantage of and picked off, and nobody has to answer to nobody until whenever they set a court date, if they set a court date. Don't see it? Don't understand how this works? Thank you, Be About Peace and Pleasure. So all the things you're mentioning women are the most vulnerable to, but I rarely see Caucasian women who are butches. Women and children have always been the spoils of war. They've always been. When the men get wiped out, when an army is defeated, they take the women and the children. And they do with them as they please. Some incorporate them into their own culture, and some you gone too. Leave a civilization utterly destroyed. Y'all don't see how that's gonna be a purge. Y'all don't understand that? Walking around here like y'all big and bad, like y'all know how to. I don't care what kind of gun permit you got. This is the.
I'm gonna stop it right there. So basically, she's been saying what I've been telling y'all. Wasn't I just telling y'all about women and the trouble that they in, being in a war and they don't even realize it? Let's see how strong and independent they is when these other races try to, and then they're gonna be looking for the black man to stand up for. They're gonna be looking for the same men that they told to get out of their lives. Talk to y'all later.